This is a simple test just to test your receiver for your X380 on the pulse width modulation side, just to make sure that it's working okay before you put a new one into your X380, if you have to put a new one in. Here we have the new receiver that I have ready to set up using a 5-volt BEC and a 11.1 volt battery ready to connect. I have 4 servos sitting here connected to the top of the receiver. On the side here we have the PPM, or the pulse proportional modulation pins. These 3 pins are the pins that go directly to your flight control board, and these 3 pins are the pulse proportional modulation that all the control of your transmitter go directly to the control board and get sorted out and use all the receiver controls all in one hit. On top of the board along here we have all the other pins of the board, and these are the pulse width modulation pins, and these pins can be used to control the servos directly through pulse width modulation. And the pulse width modulation is separate and different to the pulse proportional modulation. And here we can now connect up our power, and without turning on our transmitter, I'll connect it. Now once we have the power connected, you'll see that the little red light is flashing. That's indicating that the board is working correctly, but we have no signal. So we'll now turn on the transmitter, and the transmitter will automatically bind, or the receiver will automatically bind to the transmitter, and we can now test that we have our signal. And here we can use our control, and we can test our 4 major controls, which is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3 and channel 4. So here we are using channel 1, which is our throttle, channel 2, which is normally rudder, elevator, and channel 3 and channel 4, and you can see here that they are all working through the pulse width modulation side. So this receiver here, which is a brand new receiver just received in today, is working fine. I'm very happy with that. If we turn off the transmitter, the receiver has now lost signal, and that would send a code through to your flight control board to say that it's lost a signal from the transmitter, and that would trigger the return to home mode, which would send your XK 380 back to its GPS position where it took off from. What can often happen here though is if your receiver board goes funked or fails altogether, that's where you have a flyaway. It's because the receiver board does not send the lost signal through to the flight control board, because it hasn't got that lost signal. But here everything is working fine, and we have a lock-in, and pulse width is working on all channels, so the pulse proportional would also be working. One new receiver, all fine and ready to go into a X380 if I should have a failed receiver. So just remember, if you want to connect to 5-volt power, just connect it to any of the other couple of ports that are on the top there. There's the extra 2 or 3 ports. There's a whole 7 channels on this receiver. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top, plus the other 3 ports that are controlled by your switches, and all done.